Sumoribau bawa harapan, digital platform ilmu dicurahkan membimbing murid demi kejayaan SPM 2024. Untuk jadi media pilihan, jimat masa muda dicapai dan kau sendah. Guru pakar ilmu dikongsikan, SPM cemerlang, impian terbina. Kolaboratif bersama jaringan, CPD PLC jadi budaya. Bayu Sumoribau Spm 2.0 sifat terus setia, secara percuma namun berkualitas tinggi. Bayu Sumoribau bawa harapan, digital platform ilmu dicurahkan membimbing murid demi kejayaan SPM 2024. YouTube jadi media pilihan, jimat masa muda dicapai dan kos rendah. Guru pakar ilmu dikongsikan, SPM cemerlang, impian terbina. Kolaboratif bersama jaringan, CPD PLC jadi budaya. Bayu Sumoribau SPM 2.0 sifat terus setia, secara percuma namun berkualitas tinggi. Kolaboratif bersama jaringan, CPD PLC jadi budaya. Bayu Sumoribau SPM 2.0 sifat terus setia, secara percuma namun berkualitas tinggi.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Salam keluarga Malaysia, salam Sabah Maju Jaya, salam sepakat Sabah hebat. The Honourable Datuk Haji Raisin bin Saidin, Director of the Sabah State Education Department, the Distinguished Madam Haja Nuraini Alias Fauzia binti Darin, Deputy Director, Learning Sector, Sabah State Education Department, who is also the Chairperson of Bayu Sumoribau SPM 2.0, the Distinguished Madam Masnia binti Masri, Senior Assistant Director, Science and Mathematics Unit, Learning Sector, Sabah State Education Department, who is also the Vice Chairperson of Bayu Sumoribau SPM 2.0, the Distinguished Mr. Haji Zainal Abidin bin Haji Sheikh, Kudat Acting District Education Officer, who is also the Chairpersons of Bayu Sumoribau SPM 2.0 and also the host for this program. And we also have our esteemed speaker today, Cikgu Hidayah from SMKA Kimanis Papar with us. A warm welcome to all audience, including district education officers, educators, students, and parents who are joining us live this afternoon. I am Miss East, SIC Plus Officer from Languages Unit, Learning Sector, PPD Papar, serving as your moderator today. Welcome and thank you for joining us live in Bayu Sumoribau SPM 2.0. It is a program jointly organized by PPD Kudat and Sabah State Education Department, Learning Sector, alongside their strategic partners, Kudat District Principals Associations, and networks from PPD Beluran, PPD Kuala Penyu, PPD Tuaran, PPD Papar, PPD Telupid Tongot, PPD Ranau, Melta, and Academic YouTuber Guru Malaysia. Today's sharing session will last for 2 hours. Your focus and attention are highly appreciated, and we hope you will gain valuable insights from this session. Attendance link will be provided before the session concludes for attendance records and e-certificates in SPL KPM. Please stay with us until the end of the broadcast. Students and teachers participating online are encouraged to ask questions, share opinions, or provide comments. Kindly ensure that comments and profile pictures are appropriate for public viewing throughout this session. Your cooperation and awareness in this matter are greatly appreciated. Before we begin this sharing session, let's start with a prayer. Therefore, I would like to invite Al-Fadhil Ustaz Muhammad Hairi bin Samin, Assistant Officer from the Islamic Education Unit PPD Kudat, to lead the prayer recitations. Please, Ustaz.
إلى حضرة النبي المصطفى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, pada hari yang penuh bermakna ini, kami berhimpun dengan penuh rasa kesyukuran di atas nikmat-Mu yang tidak terhingga. Ya Allah, Tuhan yang Maha Penyayang, kami memohon kepadamu, ya Allah, bersempena dengan program ini, Engkau permudahkan setiap urusan kami, agar matlamat program ini tercapai dengan jayanya. Kurniakanlah kami keazaman yang kental untuk bekerja dengan penuh dedikasi dan keikhlasan. Kepadamu, ya Allah, kami memohon bimbingan dan restu-Mu. Kekalkanlah di dalam hati kami sifat mencintai kebaikan serta menjauhi keburukan. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami memohon dengan kekuasaan dan kehendak-Mu, Engkau anugerahkanlah kepada kami kesihatan dan kekuatan, agar kami mampu mengorak langkah, berpadu tenaga menjayakan program ini. Engkau semaikan di dalam hati kami semangat persahabatan dan pemuafakatan, agar dengannya pekerjaan kami menjadi mudah. Engkau suburkanlah semangat kerja berpasukan dalam kalangan kami, agar amanah ini menjadi ringan serta terlaksana dengan cemerlang. Hindarkanlah kami daripada sifat-sifat keji dan daripada elemen-elemen negatif dan tidak produktif. Ya Allah, Tuhan yang Maha Pemberi kesejahteraan, jadikanlah perhimpunan kami ini perhimpunan yang dirahmati, dan perpisahan kami selepas ini perpisahan yang terpelihara dari segala bencana. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
May the session proceed smoothly and be filled with blessings for the pursuit of meaningful knowledge. Thank you, Ustad, for leading the prayer earlier. Now we proceed to the much anticipated sharing sessions. Allow me having the honor to introduce our special guest speaker this afternoon, Cikgu Hidayah. Hi, Cikgu Hidayah.
Hi, Is. Can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, clear, crystal clear. Okay, I'll introduce Cikgu Hidayah. She is an experienced English language teacher who is also the Ketua Bidang Bahasa at SMK AGAMA Kimanis, Papar. So today she'll be doing a sharing with us on the listening paper. Together with us this afternoon, we are having 4 students from SMK St. Joseph, Papar. Let us introduce them. Who is the first student that we will be seeing? Okay, now on the screen we have Madani. Madani, say hi to everyone.
Hi everyone.
Okay, so the second students.
Hi.
Hi, Vanessa. Okay, the third student.
Hi everyone.
Okay, we have the only one thorn among the roses, Nicholas here. And the next students. Yeah, we are having Iva. Hi, Iva. So the 4 of them are actually from 4 students from SMK St. Joseph, Papar. Cikgu Hidayah, are you ready to share?
Yes.
Okay, the floor is yours.
Okay, so thank you, Is. Now, I would like, before we start, hello students, my name is Teacher Hidayah. So students on the line and also students that is in YouTube right now, so you can call me Teacher Hidayah. Okay, so I was given the chance to give a talk for 1119/4. I'm sure by now, SPM students, you already know your code for SPM, right? So 1119/4 is your listening paper. So the objective of today's lesson is first to help you revise SPM listening format and the questions type. And next is to provide you guys with some tips to answer listening paper. Okay, so let's move on to my session today. So by now, I know that you already know your SPM format, but I would like to go through a little bit. So for 1119 paper, there are 4 papers that you need to sit. Okay, 1119/1, which is your reading paper, 1119/2, which is your writing paper, 1119/3, your speaking paper, which you'll be sitting for it next Monday on the 16th of December. And today, what I'm doing now with you guys is 1119/4, which is your listening paper. I know that the students on the line is Form 4 students, right? So it's actually good for you guys to get early exposure before you sit for your SPM 2025. So we are going to begin to look in depth into listening paper. So before I move on, I would like to state that each paper contributes equal marks for your SPM marks, which is reading 25%, writing 25, speaking 25, and also listening 25. So you cannot say that you would like to focus only on speaking. You would only like to focus on writing, because listening, the mark for listening is equal just like any other paper. Okay, so let's look into listening paper. Are you following? As of now, are you guys okay? Okay.
Yes.
So we'll just look into the listening 1119/4. There are 4 parts in this paper. Part 1, you are going to listen to 7 unrelated monologue or dialogue. There will be 7 questions, and the type of question for this part is you will be given 3 options, which is MCQ. And then for part 2, you will be listening to 1 longer narrative or informational monologue. There will be 8 questions here, and you will also be given a 3-option MCQ. So the key difference between part 1 and part 2 would be the type of the audio that you are going to listen. For part 1, it is totally unrelated. There will be 7 audios that you are going to listen to, whereby in part 2, you will only listen to 1 type of audio, but you have to answer 8 questions based on that. Okay, so now moving on to part 3. Okay, so part 3, you are going to listen to 5 short monologues. You'll be getting 5 speakers, but you will be given 7 options. Later on, we will see the type of questions, yeah? And in this part, you are required to match what the speakers say to the options that you have on your question paper. So you will be getting 5 marks for this part. And then last one is part 4. Okay, part 4 is more like interview between 2 persons. You will be getting 10 questions, whereby this is a not completion task. You were required to write instead of choosing, right? For part 4, you have to really listen and write your answer. Okay, so let's look at the marks for each part. For part 1, you will be getting 7 marks. Part 2, 8 marks. Part 3, 5 marks. And the last part, 10 marks. So the total would be? Anyone can type?
28.
Okay,
28.
so 30 marks, correct. So from this 30 marks, from this 30 marks, right? You will be getting a 25% weightage. Okay. So any question before we move on further? No question about the format? Maybe about SPM format or listening paper? None. So you are following as of now, right? Okay, so let's move on to quick tips. Now, why do I say these quick tips? Okay, so listening paper, right? For listening paper, you are required to understand and also apply whatever audio or whatever the speaker say, you need to check your answer by listening to what the speaker say. Okay, so we can only provide you with the strategy to prepare before you enter the exam hall. Okay, so it is very important for you guys to have sort of like preparation. Okay, so instead of you going into the hall without knowing what to do, just sitting down, this is some of the strategy that you can use in order to help you to answer your listening paper. So why are we focusing on tips instead of topic? You have to understand that language is based on skill. Okay, so what we can do as teacher is only to provide you with the strategies that can help you to answer or to score in your listening paper. Okay, so let's move on. For the purpose of this presentation, I have divided the tips into 3 parts. 2 tips for pre-listening, and then we have another tips for while listening, and the last one at the end of this session, I will provide you what are the things that you need to do during the post-listening session. Okay, so let's focus on the pre-listening. For pre-listening, it means that what do you need to do before you actually listen to the audio. So as of now, are you guys okay? Am I talking too fast? The pace, is it okay?
Okay, clear, no issue.
Okay, thank you. Now, so before you listen, what do? You are going to be given a exam paper. What you need to do first, of course, you need to read the questions. Okay, not only read, at the same time, you need to underline the keywords or the main idea. Let's say, for example, the question that you get is the question that I'm showing here. The student loves sport because, okay, so you are given options A, B, and also C. So instead of you just reading, right, you also need to be actively reading. How to be actively reading? You need to at least underline keywords or main idea. So as shown on the slide, for the question itself, the keyword that you should underline is love sports. And then for A, you underline the keyword enjoy competing. Teachers use the time well. And last one is suits her sociable personality. Okay, so this is what you do during pre-listening. Instead of you just waiting for the audio itself, read, and then not only reading, you also underline. Okay, so while you are doing that, right, while you are doing now is also jotting down important things that you need to listen to. This is to prepare you on what to expect. Okay? So before you actually listen, you are given question to show you or make you know what to expect. Okay. Are you following? Are you guys okay? No questions. Okay.
No question, yeah.
Okay. So when do you do this, Kan? When you sit for the exam itself, Kan, what will you do? They will give you the question, and then when will you read the question? You will actually be given time to do this. Okay, so don't worry. There will be an instruction for you, which will say like this, which will sound like this. You are given time to read the question. So at that time, this is what you need to do. You read and then you underline. After that, we go to while listening. So while listening, when do we do this? Okay, so while listening is actually when the audio is played for you. Okay, so why do I divide into 2 rounds? Any guesses why 2 rounds? Maybe Vanessa?
Uh, the 2 rounds is to recheck and confirm the keywords right after, and the first round is to pick which answer might be the most uh suitable answer.
Okay, thank you, Vanessa. But why do you think as first round and second round? What happened here? Why round?
Um, I think it's to confirm
Because,
that
okay,
what
it's
we get
okay.
is right.
Because the audio will be played twice for you, right? So the
Yes.
first time it is played, we call it as the first round. And then the second time that it is played for you guys, it is your second round.
Yeah.
Okay. So you need to understand whenever that you sit for listening paper, given actually two chances lah. Instead of round, we say two chances. Okay. So during the first round, what you need to do is you need to listen carefully. Okay. Before this, during pre-listening, you read and read actively. During while listening, you listen actively. Okay. Just as what you are doing now, I see that some of you is jotting down notes. Am I right? Are you writing down some of the notes? So what you are actually doing, you are actually listening actively. Okay, so that's very good. So how about the students online on YouTube? Hopefully that you are also jotting down some notes so that actually this is a practice for you before you sit for your listening exam. Okay, so let's look at the while listening tips. So what you need to do first during the first round, listen carefully, of course. While you are listening, you identify the keywords or synonyms in the audio. So why do you need to identify this? Identify with what, right? With your questions. Okay, maybe there are some questions or some words from the exam paper itself that may have that may have I mean in line with what you are listening to. Okay, so next after that, you look at the options that you should eliminate. Okay, maybe there are things that the speaker disapprove, so you eliminate the option A, for example. Now, last one is you tick or write possible answer. Why tick? Okay, because you are not choosing during the first round. You just, maybe it's A, maybe it's C. So you tick first, the one that you think is the possible answer. Next, after that, after the audio is played on the second round, you listen carefully again. So while you are listening, right, you are jotting down some notes. Okay, don't only listen; you must also jot down notes, just what you are doing right now. Okay, after that, you reconfirm the keyword or the synonyms that you identified earlier, and then you recheck whether the option that you eliminate, is it true that it is wrong, or maybe you heard the first time wrongly, so you recheck first. And then last one is you circle your answer, and you must be confident. Okay, this is especially for good students, right? When they have many vocabulary, they thought that maybe the speaker mean like this, maybe the speaker said like this. Okay, you have your own understanding. Don't dwell too much on that, students. Okay, you just be confident. The first time you think that the answer is A, and then after you listen the second round, you already reconfirm that it's A. So be confident, you just circle your answer. Okay, so let's check your understanding. I'm afraid I'm going too fast for you guys. So let's just check your understanding of the steps that I've shared. Okay, so let's listen from Nicholas. Nicholas, how many
Yes,
times
teacher.
will the audio be played?
Twice.
Twice. Thank you, Nicholas. And Madani, what are the steps during the pre-listening?
The first step is to read the question, and then the second one is to underline the keyword or the main idea.
Thank you, Madani. And then Vanessa, how about while listening, the first round? What should you do?
On the first round of while we were listening, we should listen carefully and identify keywords and synonyms in the audio, and then eliminate options that we don't approve, and tick the possible answer.
Okay. Not what you don't approve, but what the speaker don't
The
approve.
speaker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Vanessa. So I hope the one on YouTube right now, or you are okay with the pre-listening as well as the while listening tips. Okay. So besides from this one, I have also some extra tips. Okay. So there are 6 tips extra aside from the pre-listening as well as the while listening. First one is the first line may be a wrong answer. Okay, what I mean by this is, let's say for example, right, the audio that you hear, it says, I want to go shopping on Monday, but I decided to go on Sunday. So the question that it will ask, when did the student go shopping? The type of the option that it is given: A, Monday; B, Sunday. Okay, Nicholas, I hope that you heard what I said just now. So which one do you think the answer? When did the student go shopping? Is it on Monday or Sunday?
On Sunday.
Very good, Nicholas. Meaning to say, right, you have 2 days mentioned in the audio. Let's say, for example, it's the audio. So it is not always the first the first keyword that is mentioned is the right answer. Okay, so you should listen carefully. So it may be the second keyword that is mentioned is the answer, but not all cases. Yeah, some cases the first line may get, you may listen to the right answer, the second line wrong answer, or sometimes the first line wrong answer, second line correct answer. Okay, so next, what happened if you miss an answer? Meaning to say you have 8 questions, you heard number 1 correctly, number 2 correctly, then suddenly question number 3, what did the speaker say? Is it A, B? What is the answer? Okay, because you were distracted at that time, right? Especially for part 1, because there are 7 different audios. So you were suddenly distracted for question number 3. So what do? Please don't dwell, because you have other questions that you need to listen to. Okay, you need to move on. So what do you do at this time? Okay, the strategy here, right? That's why you need to listen carefully and jot down what you listen. Okay, so that just in case that you may be questioning yourself, what did you hear, right? At least you have some notes that can guide or help you. Okay, so these are the 2 extra tips for every part. Okay, any question on this? Maybe that something that you do not understand? None?
No.
Okay, so you are following as of now. Thank you. Now let's look at extra tips for part 4. Okay, part 4, if you remember, I introduced this now, is the note completion. Before you complete the notes, right, you identify the type of words. Okay, maybe it's a noun. Is it a verb? Is it an adjective? Next, for part 4 also, try to predict the missing words. Let's say, for example, right, the line or the question asks, I like having dinner at. Okay, so can you guess what type of answer or what type of word the answer will be? I like having dinner at. Okay, this one is before you actually listen to the audio itself. Yeah, you are looking at the questions, and then the question goes like this: I like having dinner at. So can you guess, Vanessa? What type of answer will you insert?
I'm guessing the answer will probably be the noun which was placed, or it might also be the time.
Okay, very good, Vanessa. Okay, so because of the word having dinner and then the sentence or the phrase at, right? So it can be a place or a time, right? But since it's a dinner, so probable answer would be somewhere like restaurant, cafe. This is actually before you start listening. Yeah, you try to predict on your own first. Why are you doing this? Because to prepare your brain. Okay, so I'm going to listen to the name of a restaurant. I'm going to listen to the name of a cafe, for example, let's say. Okay. Okay, next, part 4. Okay, this is very important. For part 4, you are only required to write 1-word answer. Okay, 1-word answer. Okay, do not go beyond that because it will be wrong. only just write one word answer. And then last part is spell correctly. Okay, because of course on that day you will panic. The answer is friend, Friend. Suddenly on that day, Freind. Okay, so even though it may sound right in your mind, but when you recheck, you suddenly found out that you spell incorrectly. Okay, so remember for part 4, please, okay, make sure that you spell the answer correctly. Okay, so these are some of the extra tips. As of now, are you guys okay? Am I going too fast?
Teacher, I
Okay,
have a
thank
question.
you. Then
Hidayah,
let's.
I think one of them is having a question.
Oh, okay. Madani. Hi, Madani. Okay.
Madani.
Teacher, for part 4, during the listening test, how can I make sure if the word has the letter S or not? Because sometimes it's hard to tell when listening. Because if I miss it or add it when it's not there, it will be marked wrong, right?
Yes, that's why you need to identify the part, the type of words lah. Because of course, in the text itself, you will be shown is, are, was, were, right? From that already, you know it will be a plural or singular. Because you will be having problem on S kan, especially for the plural or singular word. Okay, but that's why you need to look at the verb that accompany the question. Is it are, is it was, is it were? Okay, so look at the whole text, yeah, and then refer to the subject. One of my friend also share that you need to refer to the subject that is in front of the sentence. Let's say, for example, Madani is having apa what, or maybe look at the subject verb agreement lah. Okay, instead of a person, maybe they, then what follows after that. Okay, maybe all books, they are reading all books, they're having cars. Okay, so look at the subject also and the
But
verb.
but if
Yes,
before
Madani.
the blank space, it's not like is or are begitu, like how? What?
Oh, that's why you need to look at the subject lah. If there's no verb is and are, then look at the subject.
Oh, okay. Thank you, teacher.
Okay, Madani. Okay. So no more question on the extra tips. Okay. So I understand because part 4, right? You don't have any options that you can choose. It is only the question itself and whatever that you hear on the audio. Okay, so that's why you are going to be very cautious on that. Instead, for part 1, 2, and 3, you are given options, right? You just choose. But part 4, I understand why is it something that you are nervous about, right? So let's go to vocabulary. Now, the thing about listening, right? We cannot predict what question that will come out because, again, English is not topic based. It is more like a skill based. So it can range from anything. It can be about people and culture. It can be about health and environment. It can be about science and tech or consumerism and financial awareness. Okay, just bear in mind for people in culture, the topic that may come out, right, like your hobby. It can be about your hobby, it can be about celebrity, it can be about your favorite idol, or it can be about your family, friends. Okay, the same goes with speaking. Okay, so we are best, the topic that we are basing is based on these 4 themes. Okay, so, and then we'll, for health and environment, the topic that may come out may be about pollution, may be about eating healthy. And then for science tech, for example, the gadget, or maybe about social media. And then last one, for financial awareness, maybe about how teenagers save money, or maybe about where do teenagers like to go shopping. Okay, so these are the things that you need to be familiar, and always go back to your textbook, especially you are still in Form 4, which is very good for you guys. Look at the topic for in your textbook itself, and then when you enter Form 5, make sure that you know every unit's topic, okay? Because all the topics is related to these 4 themes, okay? So that, why am I telling you this? So that you will prepare your vocabulary based on these 4 themes. Okay. As of now, are you guys okay? Maybe other questions? No questions? Okay. So I think for the tips, it's okay. Now I would like you to process everything, okay, from the pre-listening, while listening. I would like you to process everything now. After this, we are going to try it when we are answering the sample questions. Okay, Is, I think we can go for intermission now.
You mean having a break now?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe questions from the YouTube. If are there any questions?
You mean having a break or having a questions from the YouTube?
Yeah. I think intersession, right?
You want to go for a break now? Yeah, sure. So we'll go for a very quick break and then we'll be back very soon. Stay tuned with us.
Okay.
Okay, welcome back everyone. Now we are going to proceed with the next session. But before that, we just want to say hi to students from SMK Pengalat, because this afternoon we are seeing quite a lot of students from SMK Pengalat Papar who are joining us online. Thank you very much. Please stay tuned with us, yeah? By the way, if any of our audience, you are having any question, you can always just post your questions in the comment section, and then we will pick an answer later alongside, throughout the whole sharing sessions. Thank you. Cikgu Hidayah, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Now we are back on, everyone. So have you read your tips just now? Your pre-listening tips, your while listening tips, okay? So now let's try some sample questions, okay? I'm not going to try every question from 1 until 30. We're just going to try maybe 1 or 2 questions from each of the part. So let's go to part 1, okay? Part 1, again, it is a monologue or dialogue. You will be listening to a monologue dialogue, which is totally unrelated with each other. There will be 7 questions, meaning to say there will be 7 different audios. So let's look at the question here. Before that, always read the instruction. Okay, I purposely don't put this in the pre-listening part, because I would like for you to read on your own when we are answering. So read the instruction first. For part 1, questions 1 to 7, you will hear people talking in 7 different situations. For question 1 to 7, choose the correct answer A, B, or C, and you will hear each recording twice. Answer all the questions. Okay, so why are we looking at the instruction? Because let's say, for example, this year, suddenly the instruction changed. Okay, so always go back to the instruction of what the task is about. Okay, now let's try the first question. Okay, remember the tip. You read first. I'm going to give you around 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Okay. Okay, now I would like you to do the second tip, which is you underline the keyword or main idea. Okay, now let's check. Did you underline the same keyword or main idea? Okay,
Yes.
so I'm going to read the question first. The girl likes movies which have lots of fight scenes, are shown on weekends. Let her use her imagination. Okay, so we are going to listen to the audio. I hope that you can turn up the volume. The question is here. So I'm going to play the audio once. Okay, try to use the first round tips for while listening.
Question 1. You hear a girl talking about watching movies.
I usually enjoy watching my favorite movies and cartoons on weekends. Action movies are good, but I'm not that keen if there's too much violence. I wouldn't waste any time on horror movies either. I'll have trouble sleeping after watching them. I guess I enjoy watching fantasy the most, where there's magical kingdoms and dragons. As for romance, well, I don't really enjoy that.
Question 1. You hear a girl talking about watching movies.
I usually enjoy watching my favorite movies and cartoons on weekends. Action movies are good, but I'm not that keen if there's too much violence. I wouldn't waste any time on horror movies either. I'll have trouble sleeping after watching them. I guess I enjoy watching fantasy the most, where there's magical kingdoms and dragons. As for romance, well, I don't really enjoy that.
Okay, before I ask the answer, let's look at the audio transcript. Okay, so the girl likes movies which have lots of fight scenes. Okay, so is it right? A, by looking at the audio transcript, do you think it's right? It's wrong. Why? Madani, why?
Because she mentioned that she was not a big fan of movie that features a lot of violence.
Correct. Okay, and then how about B? Is it right, Nicholas?
No, it's not right.
Why?
Because she stated that her favorite movies are cartoons on weekends. It doesn't really relate to the question. Yeah.
Question. Okay, correct. And then how about C, Vanessa? Is it right or wrong?
The answer is C because she mentioned that she enjoyed watching fantasies, and fantasies is something that uh let her use her imagination, so it totally relates.
Okay, very good. So you are right. The answer is C. Okay, so what Madani and Nicholas did just now, right? They are doing what? Eliminating the wrong options. Okay, so
Yes.
when you are answering later on your exam paper for the Form 5 students, make sure that whatever options that you have, you eliminate based on the justification that you hear, because you will not be seeing the transcript. Okay, of course you will not be seeing the transcript. Okay, so what is important when you are listening to the audio, you jot down the things that you listen to so that you are able to eliminate what? Wrong answers. Okay, so good job everyone. So the answer is C, and everyone can justify why they choose C. So let's try another one, shall we? Let's look at the question
Hidayah,
first.
by the way,
Yes. Yes.
we can actually encourage our audience to try the answer. Congratulations to Mimi and Putri. And also, I think Effa, they also answer C. Congratulations that who got the answer correctly. So hopefully we will have more students who are joining us by putting their answers in the comment sections.
Okay. Thank you, everyone who is also following the session here right now. So you can also try, yeah. So let's try question number 2. First thing first, always go back to the tips. You read first. Okay. While you are reading, I hope that you can jot down. Okay, I know that you don't have the question with you right now, but the tips you can apply it when you are actually answering for the paper. Let's look at the thing that you should underline. The keyword. The man realized he could turn his hobby into his job. So hobby into job is the main idea there. And then let's look at the question A. The keyword there or the main idea there would be when he was in Africa. B, when traveling all over the world. And last one, when magazine started publishing his work. Okay, so I don't have the red pen there. I don't know where it gone to. But you should underline magazine and publishing his work. So let's listen. Are you guys ready? The question is there. So I'm going to play the audio. I hope the audience are also ready together with the students online. So turn up your volume. If your volume is too low, you may not be able to hear it. Okay.
Question 2. You hear a man talking about his occupation.
I always dreamed of sailing the seven seas when I was small. In my 20s, I saved enough money working as a salesman to travel to Africa. While I was there, I took lots of great pictures, and that's what made me think of a career in photography. Since then, I've done lots of exhibitions, and travel magazines have used my pictures to write about holidays and hotels.
Question 2. You hear a man talking about his occupation.
I always dreamed of sailing the seven seas when I was small. In my 20s, I saved enough money working as a salesman to travel to Africa. While I was there, I took lots of great pictures, and that's what made me think of a career in photography. Since then, I've done lots of exhibitions, and travel magazines have used my pictures to write about holidays and hotels.
Okay, based on that, any guess without you looking at the audio transcript? Any guesses? Let's start with Vanessa. What is your answer?
I was not sure between A and B because I kind of cannot hear the audio because
okay.
that I know the answer is definitely not C.
Definitely. Okay, so you eliminate the wrong answer, correct? Okay. So how about Nicholas? I hope that you managed to get the answer.
Same here. I also didn't quite get the audio, but I was contemplating on A or C. But
A
I
or
think
C?
the most suitable answer would be A.
A, okay, because Vanessa already eliminated C, right? So you are between A and C, so we eliminate the C already. So the answer is A, maybe. How about Madani? Did you manage to get the audio?
Same as me here. I couldn't really get the audio, but I couldn't decide whether it's between B or C.
Oh, B
No,
or C?
wait, no.
What makes
Wait,
you
no.
choose?
Not B and C. It's actually A or C. Same as Nicholas.
Okay. So it's between A or C. Why these two, if I may ask? Because everyone got A and C, right? Guess A and C, right? But why A and C?
He mentioned something about Africa, but I couldn't really get what he was saying earlier. And also he said something about magazine, and that's all I could caught before.
Okay. Did you guys jot down anything while listening? None? Oh, you jot down Africa and then magazine.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the real case scenario. Okay. This is what will happen. Maybe sometime you cannot listen to the audio. So this is where jotting down important points is important. Yeah. So now we eliminated the C. So maybe it's A. So let's look at the audio transcript.
Question 2.
Sorry.
You hear a man talking about his occupation.
Okay, let's look at why B is wrong. Of course, he did not travel the world. Okay, so he only traveled to Africa. So B is, we eliminate B, and now why C is wrong. When magazine started publishing his work, okay, so he decided to turn his job in his hobby into a job, not after magazine published his work. Okay, it's actually when he was in Africa. This is justified by, I saved enough money working as a salesman to travel to Africa. While I was there, I took lots of great pictures, and that is what made me think of a career. So the answer is A. Congratulations. So, like you said just now, some of you did not manage to hear the audio, but you did manage to get the important points, which is Africa, or maybe it's a magazine because you hear that word in the audio itself. Okay, so the answer is actually A because of this. Okay, remember, yeah, to eliminate the answer that you know that is wrong, which is C. Okay, and then you are given between A and B. Now, why it is A? Because he did not travel the world, he only traveled to Africa. So how about the audience? Did you manage to get the answer? I cannot watch the comment section. Did they answer this part?
Yeah, quite a lot of them. Let me see. I have Nasha, Aisha, Sarah, Claudia, Alia. A lot of them answer A.
Okay, good job, everyone. Okay, meaning to say you follow the tips, right? You read and then you eliminate the wrong answer, and then only you choose, okay, the correct answer. Okay, so part 1 is finished. Now let's look into part 2. Okay, so just now 2 different audio for 2 different questions. Now we are looking at part 2, 1 longer narrative monologue for 8 question. But for part 2, I only ask 1 question. Before that, let's read the instruction. Okay, so just now part 1, now is the instruction for part 2. Okay, you will hear Roy talking about his skateboarding experience. For question 8 to 15, circle the correct answer. You will hear the recording twice. Okay, remember to read the instruction because suddenly you will only hear the recording once. Mana lah tahu kan? And then the difference between part 1 and part 2, right? If you look at part 2, it gives you the topic that you are going to listen to. So here you are going to listen about skateboarding. So it is about Roy, who is talking about his skateboarding experience. So remember, always read the instruction. So now let's look at the question here. You read first, and then what do? You underline. I'm going to give you time to underline first, yeah? Okay, I'm taking a long time, sorry. Now, I'm going to play the audio for you. So, listen.
Balancing is everything when you ride a skateboard. You have to learn how to bend your knees properly and move your weight around the deck. I remember the first time I saw a pro skateboarder. He came to our new skate park and put Balancing is everything when you ride a skateboard. You have to learn how to bend your knees properly and move your weight around the deck. I remember the first time I saw a pro skateboarder. He came to our new skate park and put balancing.
So the audio is only for this question. Okay, supposedly it will be for 8 questions. I cut it into purposely for this question only. Okay, so based on the audio, did you manage to get the answer?
Yes.
Yes. Maybe Ivy, are you okay now? Maybe you can share. Okay, is it still raining there? What is your answer, Ivy? Oh, still raining. Okay, never mind. Now let's try Vanessa. Vanessa, what did you choose? The answer.
I think the answer is B, because bending your knees and moving your weight is basically balancing your body.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Vanessa. How about Nicholas? What did you choose?
Well, at first it was either A or B because I heard both balancing your body and bending your knees, especially A at the
Beginning.
last part of the audio, but my answer would be B. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's look at the transcript. Let's check whether you...
Balancing is
sorry.
everything when you write a
Okay, now let's check the audio transcript. Balancing is everything when you write a skateboard. Now, if you look at the question, right, what is the most important aspect? So basically, this is a synonym for is everything. Okay, so meaning to say the answer that Vanessa and Nicholas choose just now is correct. Okay, the most important part would be balancing your body for skateboarding. How about you, Madani? Did you manage to get B also?
Yes, teacher. I also managed to get the answer B.
You also choose B. Okay, how about the one in YouTube live? Did you manage to get to choose B?
Yeah, three of them answer B.
Okay, good job. Okay, so bear in mind for part 2, you are going to be given a longer audio, but for the purpose of this training, I only choose the first part only for question number 8. Okay, so let's move on to part. Okay, the answer is B. Yes. Now part 3. Okay, so part 3 is 5 short monologues. You are going to listen to 5 short monologues, and you are going to be given options. So now instead of you choosing, you are given the options, but you need to match it. Match it with what? Okay, let's look at the type of question first. Before that, you are going to read the instruction. Okay, I'm going to give you time to read the instruction. Question 16 to 20, you will hear 5 short extracts in which teenagers are talking about shopping habits. For question 16 to 20, choose from the list A to G what each speaker says. Use the letters only once. There are 2 extra letters which you do not need to use. You will hear the recording twice. Again, you are going to hear the recording twice for part 1, part 2, and also part 3. And you must answer all the questions. Let's look at the type of question here. So instead of A, B, and C, you are given options from A until G. Okay, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G are all statements. Statements that is going to be spoken by speaker 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Why only 5? Because the 2 here from here will only serve as a distractor for you guys. Okay. So you can underline first the main idea. You read first and then you underline main idea or main keyword from here. Okay, so for the purpose of the training, I'm only going to play for speaker 1 and speaker 2, yeah? So the rest, I will not play. So let's listen first. Have you read all the options, A until G? Okay, so let's just check together. A, look for best bargain. Okay, the keyword there will be bargain. B, online cheaper. And then C, don't let others make your mind up for you. D, ask yourself if an item is really necessary. Be careful not to buy on impulse. Okay. Get the best deal from the salesperson, best deal, and then don't fall for marketing tricks. So let's listen for speaker 1.
Speaker 1.
Before I buy something, I look at the advantages and disadvantages of buying it. I ask myself why I need it, where I'll put it, and what it's for. If I can't give definite answers to these questions, I may want it, but will probably decide I don't need it.
Speaker 1.
Before I buy something, I look at the advantages and disadvantages of buying it. I ask myself why I need it, where I'll put it, and what it's for. If I can't give definite answers to these questions, I may want it, but will probably decide I don't need it.
Okay, let's look at question number 16 first. Yeah, did you manage to jot down the main idea from the audio extract? I see Nicholas is thinking. Are you okay, Nicholas? Are you contemplating? Okay, so have you gotten the answer now? Yeah, okay. Okay, so before you share the answer, let's look at what speaker 1 says, yeah? Okay, so don't look at the speaker 2 first. Look at speaker 1 first. I hope that you jot down, I ask myself why I need it. Okay, so why do I ask you to jot down? Hopefully you jot down that, because the answer is maybe Madani lah. Let's try Madani. What do you think the answer is?
I think the answer would most probably be D.
D. Why? Because
The speaker kept mentioning and asking questions like why would he need it and like what's it for. So yeah, I think it's D. Ask yourself if an item is really necessary.
okay, congratulations. Because the answer is definitely D. Because of ask yourself if an item is really necessary, because of the question that the speaker asked himself. Okay, I ask myself first, and then other clue that we get is I may want it, I don't need it. Okay, because it may not be something that is necessary. Okay, so correct. D. Speaker 1 is D. How about speaker 2? Okay, are you guys ready? Okay, this time I'm going to ask the listener online, yeah, instead of the students that we have with me today. Okay, so YouTube students, be ready. Miss Is will help you and share your answer with me. Okay, so let's listen first. I hope that you have jotted down the main idea for each of the statements.
Speaker 2. At supermarkets, there are always people trying to sell you things. I normally compare prices of different brands to get the best deal. Sometimes, I use vouchers that I find on the internet or in newspapers. I like to go online to know who is offering the lowest price. Speaker 2. At supermarkets, there are always people trying to sell you things. I normally compare prices of different brands to get the best deal. Sometimes, I use vouchers that I find on the internet or in newspapers. I like to go online to know who is offering the lowest price.
Okay, so based on the audio extracts, I hope that you managed to find or to match speaker 2 with any of the statement here. Okay, are there any other answers?
Yeah, Hidayah, we do have okay. Nasha say A maybe. And then we have Claudia say speaker 2 is A, I think. Adriana say speaker 2 is F. Nasha say, oh, it could be B. I think Nasya, you have to be certain. Sometimes you like A, sometimes you like B.
Okay, for the students who choose A, maybe you can share why A.
I think now having F and then someone, Nasha is switching to B. Mimi is B.
Oh,
Faizun is B. A, not B, F, F.
okay. So they're stating that. Then I have to ask online students. Vanessa,
no.
how about you? Are you also choosing F?
When I wrote my answer down in my notes, it was between B and F, but I focused more on when said something about online. So I think the answer might be B.
Might be B. Okay. Maybe Nicholas have different answer.
A lot of similar answers, and at first I was going to go with F, but and then I saw the comments from the audience. It made me contemplate more on A, B, and F, and now I'm not really that confident, but I'm going to go with, based on my notes, sell you things, compare prices and vouchers. I'm gonna go with A, maybe. Yeah, maybe A. Yeah.
Good job. It's actually A, okay? Because of the word bargain, kan? Let's look at the audio transcript, yeah? Okay. So speaker 2, at supermarkets, there are always people trying to sell you things. I normally compare prices of different brands to get the best deal, okay? So meaning to say, we have synonyms there. Which one do you think is the synonyms? Bargain, the
deal.
synonym?
Best deal.
Yes, deal, right? Okay, so the bargain here also we can see vouchers, lowest price. Okay, so the correct answer would be A. So students, remember you need to jot down whatever you hear, because just in case, right, the one that you jot down, there are things that you can compare the word so that you know that it's the synonym. Let's say, for example, you managed to write down best deal. Okay, best deal is maybe best bargain. And then you also hear something about lowest price. I hope that you managed to jot down also that. Then you can compare that maybe best bargain, lowest price. Okay, so that you have some idea. Because remember, in listening, there is no A or B. Okay, you need to listen. There will be, meaning to say, right, for this part, you will not be helped by any other stimulus. There will only be what you listen, and that is why jotting down the notes is very important. Okay, so I hope the audience that managed to get A, good job, but the rest, maybe you will have to recheck again the tips that I've shared. Remember to jot down the keyword or the main idea so that you can compare it with the statements that you see in the questions.
Hidayah, sorry to interrupt. I think we must
Yes.
press Cloudy as well, because just now these students actually chose A, and she provided the justification letter because she was comparing the qualities, prices, and everything. It's not really focused on buying online. Yeah, congrats on her.
Congrats. Correct, yeah. Okay, that's why I say, right, in English subject kan, online shopping or shopping habit has been you have read about it either in form 4 or form 5. Okay, so here you see yourself, right, the question that come out is also about buying things or shopping and online shop or bargain. Okay, these words is actually is mentioned inside the textbook itself. Okay, so students always reread your textbook. Okay, now let's look at, we have done with part 3. I hope that you guys are okay. Are there any question on part 3 before I move on to the note completion? None? How about the audience? Maybe you have
From the
questions here?
YouTube audience, so far none. So far none.
Okay.
I've not seen any.
Okay, so let's just move on to part 4. Okay, so here is the answer lah. Okay, speaker 1 D, speaker 2 A. Always look for the best bargain. So part 4. Okay, so part 4, you are going to, the type of the audio that you are going to listen to is sort of interview. Okay, it is a not completion task whereby you need to provide one word answer. Okay, for the purpose of this test, we are only going to look at 4 not completion tasks. So again, students, read the instruction. Part 4, you will hear a student, Azlan, talking about his experience as an exchange student in Italy. For question 21 to 30, fill in the missing information in each numbered space. Use no more than one word for each space. Okay, you will hear the interview twice. Answer all the questions. Okay, so basically from reading the stimulus itself or from reading the instruction itself, you already know that your mind is know already that you're going to listen about Azlan, who is an exchange student. Okay, so this will prepare your mind on what you are going to expect later on in the audio part. Okay, let's look at the question. Okay, there will be only 4 tasks here. What you do first, always go back to the pre-listening tip, which is you read and then you underline maybe some keywords. And for part 4, identify the type of word. Okay, if you can. Maybe I give you around 1 minute. 1 minute. You may also guess the answer after you read. Maybe you have some idea of what answer should be written. Okay, so before we listen, I would like you to guess the type of word that you are going to write as the answer. Okay, maybe there are 4 here, so let's try number 21. Maybe Madani first. Is it noun? Is it a verb or adjective or something else?
I think it would be a noun since the word before the blank space is his. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Correct. Okay. Because of the word his, so you predict that the answer will be a noun. Thank you. Now, Nicholas, how about question 22? Will it be a noun also or a verb or an adjective?
A noun, I guess. I think
A noun?
it would be a noun.
Why?
Yeah.
Any
I don't
clue
know,
from
it's just a gut feeling.
gut feeling?
It's just a gut feeling.
You should trust it. Okay. And then let's look at number 23. I think Vanessa have answered this earlier, kan? Is it, so what type of noun? Okay. Since you answered noun earlier, so what type of noun will this be?
I think that would be places because they took him somewhere.
Okay, took him somewhere because of that, and then because of the word nearby. Okay, whenever we see the word nearby, meaning to say it is a location. Okay, something that is related with location. Okay, so for the students online, I hope that you know that noun is actually kata nama. Kata nama can range from kata nama tempat, kata nama khas, right? Okay, so last one, we let the audience answer. How about number 24? What do you think this will be? Will this be a noun or a place also, or maybe an adjective this time? Is I cannot watch the comments section. Can you help to? And are there any guesses there?
No, so far none.
No guesses.
Cloudy,
Okay.
try maybe a noun. There's a place.
Thank you, Cloudy. Yes, maybe a place, right? Maybe the name of a place. Okay, because of what? Because of the clue here at because of the clue that we know that it is a place because of the word at. Okay. So so Madani answered earlier because of his, then she guessed it will be a noun. Yes, correct. Now we have Nicholas who answered noun also because of his gut feeling. But if you look, actually, there's the word different. Different there is an adjective. So adjective always accompanied by a noun after that. And then Vanessa also answered a noun because of the word nearby. And then last one, Cloudy just now also answered a noun, maybe a place, maybe because she looked at the word at there. Okay, so what does this tells you? Most of the word type that will, not to say will, we can guess that most of the answer will be a type of noun. Okay, so maybe this is right for some situation, but we do not know lah what the question will come out this year. Maybe most of it will be about a verb. Okay, maybe most of it will be about an adjective, but this time around for this question, most of it is noun. Okay, so let's listen. Yeah, I hope that you have jotted down the main idea or you have underlined the main idea just now. So let's listen. You will have to answer number 21 until number 24.
So, did you apply straight away?
I think my biggest concern was that I had a limited budget, but I didn't let that stop me. I went ahead with the application and it was successful. My parents were a bit worried about how I would handle life away from home. Of course, I'd never traveled that far before, so I had to buy a new suitcase.
So, tell me more about your trip. What was it like when you got there?
In Rome, once we'd arrived, it was nice to be able to relax and walk around the city in the evening after the long flight. I noticed that the Italians do things differently. Their culture isn't the same as ours. They truly know how to relax and enjoy themselves.
What else did you learn about the people there?
I was impressed by how friendly and polite the people were. My host family introduced me to their friends and family members. Every gathering was a feast of food and laughter. When they discovered that I was a die-hard fan of their famous football club, they organized a trip to the local stadium. It was amazing.
Wow. Did you get to meet any of the players?
Well, we managed to watch the team train, and later I got a really great photo of me with the team captain because my host father knew the players would usually hang out at a nearby restaurant after training. So we tried our luck, and I couldn't believe it when I saw the team walking in.
Okay, you are going to listen to the audio again.
So, did you apply straight away?
I think my biggest concern was that I had a limited budget, but I didn't let that stop me. I went ahead with the application and it was successful. My parents were a bit worried about how I would handle life away from home. Of course, I'd never traveled that far before, so I had to buy a new suitcase.
So, tell me more about your trip. What was it like when you got there?
In Rome, once we'd arrived, it was nice to be able to relax and walk around the city in the evening after the long flight. I noticed that the Italians do things differently. Their culture isn't the same as ours. They truly know how to relax and enjoy themselves.
What else did you learn about the people there?
I was impressed by how friendly and polite the people were. My host family introduced me to their friends and family members. Every gathering was a feast of food and laughter. When they discovered that I was a die-hard fan of their famous football club, they organized a trip to the local stadium. It was amazing.
Wow. Did you get to meet any of the players?
Well, we managed to watch the team train, And later, I got a really great photo of me with the team captain because my host father knew the players would usually hang out at a nearby restaurant after training. So we tried our luck, and I couldn't believe it when I saw the team walking in.
Okay, so did you manage to get all 4 answers?
Hidayah, I think I
Yes.
saw like for, do you want me to read like questions, answer questions for
So, if
21?
it flies away,
I think my
Eh,
biggest
sorry, again, it is?
Do you want me to, are we reading the answer now that you want?
Okay, yeah. Are there any answer on the YouTube section?
Yes, yes. I think Nasha mentioned 21 is budget, 22 is culture, 23 is stadium, 24 restaurant, 22 she's not sure. Cloudy say 21 budget, 22 no culture, 23 is stadium, 24 is restaurant.
Okay.
Okay, and then we have another budget, culture, stadium, restaurant. I guess the answer should be correct because I'm reading Fizun also say budget, culture, stadium, restaurant.
Okay. Khan, okay. You guys managed to get the answer. Have you answered this question before? Maybe the Form 4 students have not seen this question. Maybe Form 5 students. Or is it your first time listening? Okay, while waiting for the answer, let's check Nicholas' answer. What did you answer, Nicholas, for 21?
The same. Budget. Yeah.
Budget. Vanessa, 22?
22, I answered culture.
Okay. How about 23, Madani?
Stadium. I think stadium.
Stadium. And last one, did you manage to answer this one? Do you also agree with restaurant?
I think so. Actually, I think so. I go with the majority's YouTube's answer. And Cloudy say no, this is her first time listening.
First time listening. Okay. Then before I show you the transcript, let's look at the word worried, too small. And then worried, right? If you see, it's actually a synonym for biggest concern. And then we also have just now in the text being too small. So what is too small? It will be a limited budget. Okay. So yes, the question 21. The answer is here, budget. And then for question 22, if you look at the transcript, okay, I noticed that the Italians do things differently. Okay, so do things differently. The synonym here would be different, experience different things. Okay, so differently, not really synonyms there, but you also listen to the word differently in the audio itself. So the answer is correct. It's culture. Okay, and then for question number 23, okay, if you look at the question, right, the keyword or the clue there would be nearby. So the answer in the audio is stadium, correct, but nearby is not mentioned. Okay, it is not actually mentioned, but the synonym for nearby would be a local local. Okay, so correct, the answer is stadium. And last one, it's about took a picture with team captain. So the answer is actually restaurant also. But if you look at the question, there is no actually nearby synonym for nearby. But the answer is totally correct. It is actually a restaurant. So look back at your spelling. Now, if you look at the tips just now, you look at the spelling. Okay, did you spell it correctly? Because it is very important for you to spell correctly, even if you do not have an A or a E here, it's actually wrong already. Okay, so the last tip for part 4 would be look at your spelling. Okay, so I think that's the end of the question. So before we top, for the last tip, any question for part 4? Okay, what do you think about part 4 after using all the tips? Do you think it's easier, or do you think because the question is easy? Because most
Hidayah,
of you got
maybe,
it correct.
maybe
Yes?
while waiting for the response of the audience from the YouTube, we can ask like Vanessa or Nicholas or Madani or Iva to share with us
Yeah. What
their
do you
feedback.
think? The feedback of using the tips, is it okay, or do you think that it is because the question is easy?
I think, well, the tips made it easier, but it also depends on the question lah. Yeah.
Correct, Nicholas.
But I
Maybe
think,
yes.
yeah,
What
I
do you
think I
think?
can identify the most suitable answer very easily lah, compared to the last time
Previously.
I do this. Yeah.
Okay. How about the others?
For me, I also think the tips make it easier for me to answer the questions for our listening test in the future. And it also depends on the audio quality. So
Yes.
the tips that you said about predicting the words is very useful.
Okay. Thank you, Vanessa. How about Madani?
Same with me here. I think the listening tips that was given by Teacher Hidayah are very useful lah. Especially the advice on emphasizing and focusing on keywords and the main idea. Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, Madani. Okay, so for part 4, right, don't be afraid, because in the sense that there is no option. Okay, it's just you with the question. So what you can do, remember to apply the tips. You try to guess what type of word, and then you try to guess. You try also to guess the answer, what it might be. Okay, you can predict it by looking at the clues inside the question itself. Let's say, for example, just now, right, we have the question about nearby. So of course, nearby, the answer that accompany nearby will always be about a place. Okay, the same with at. Okay, the word at there, the answer that will always accompany the word at is a place also. So by now you can imagine already what type of answer that you will write, and what type of a word that you are going to expect to listen to. Okay, I think that's all for the questions. So before any
I
other
think
from you?
Claudia did mentions that also the tips help a lot and the questions are quite easy. But they do ask about like tembak the answer. Somebody asked.
Tembak the answer for which part? I think part 4 you cannot really tembak the answer lah. Okay, you have to really listen. Except for part 1 until part 3. Okay, if you miss it, then you have to tembak lah. But I do not advise, that's why remember, jot down whatever you hear. Don't simply listen and then wait. No, you have to jot down whatever you hear, but do not write word by word. You need to know that you can make it simpler lah. Okay, because you're only given around 30 seconds to hear for each of the audio, except for the longer part, of course, it will be around 2 to 3 minutes lah. But for part 1, it will be short audio. So just write down in simple words or make it simplify the words lah. Okay. So I think.
And question here: do we use pencil to write down the answer for part 4?
Okay, coming to that. Of course, we have done with pre and while listening. Now the question is, what happened post listening? Okay. So everyone, post listening. Okay, after you have answered everything from number 1 until number 30, make sure that you answer or you transfer your answer accordingly. Teacher, when do we transfer? Okay, so there will be an instruction at the end of the part 4. You will be given around 6 minutes, okay, to transfer your answer. Okay, what do I mean by accordingly? Make sure that you transfer question number 1 to OMR number 1, number 30 to OMR number 30. Later I will show you. And then blacken and write your answer. you blacken it using a pencil, and you write it using a pencil also. Okay, so these are the three friends that you will have with you: the eraser, the 2B pencil, a very good 2B pencil. Please make sure that you have a 2B pencil. You at least bring 2 pencil with you, and then make sure also you have the sharpener with you. Okay, because do not ask from your friends beside you or in front of you. These are the three things that you need to buy yourself and bring it to the exam hall. But if you do not have an eraser, let's say right before you enter the class or right before you enter the exam hall, tell your teacher, okay, you need these three friends with you. So coming to that, the question earlier, do we blacken using pencil or do we write using pencil? Yes, you blacken and you write your answer using a pencil. Number 1 until number 20, you blacken everything, okay, which is in the second column. Because if you look, I'm not sure if you can look at the column here. There will be 3 columns, okay, the same one for reading paper. This is the same OMR hybrid. Why hybrid? Of course, because you are going to blacken and also write the answer in the same OMR. Okay, so there will be 3 columns. The second column is the place where you blacken it. Okay, so question 1 until 20, you need to blacken the space for A. Let's say, for example, right, you choose A, blacken the space provided there. And then for 21 until 30, for listening paper, even though the OMR, you have it until number 40, but for listening paper, we use it from number 1 until number 30 only. Okay, remember that. And then 21, you start writing your answer in the third column, because you do not have to blacken anymore for 21 because there's no options, right? You are only using whatever word that you have write in your part 4, then transfer it to the OMR hybrid. Please, everyone, transfer everything to your hybrid OMR, especially Form 5 students. Don't forget to transfer it to the OMR paper, because you will be given time to do so. Okay, don't simply saya sudah jawab juga di part 4. No ya, because we will only check what you have in the OMR hybrid. Okay, any other question for post listening?
I think there's someone asked, but it's not really, I guess it's about post listening. What should I do if I miss or not sure about the audio and I don't have the answer for it?
If you miss it, don't dwell. Okay, don't dwell, because you have other question that you need to answer. Okay, let's say just now, for example, part 1, you are not sure about number 3 because you cannot listen to the audio per se. Don't dwell. You just go to 4, 5, 6, and 7 because you have other question for you to answer. Okay, time is very important. Okay, so one way to tackle that problem, of course, you need to jot down lah. Okay, so the thing about listening paper, we cannot control the pace of the speaker. We cannot control the slang of the speaker because it is already provided on that day. What we can control is, let's say, for example, the volume is too slow. Okay, the volume is too slow. That one, you can raise your hand immediately. Tell the pengawas in your room or in the hall that you cannot hear. Okay, because it's not the problem of the speaker, it's the problem of the volume on that day. Okay, so Form 5 students, I know that you are panicking right now, of course, but if you memang cannot listen, raise your hand, but not about the pace of the speaker lah, because that one you cannot control. Okay.
Okay, I guess like beside don't dwell on that, they focus on the next question, but somehow don't leave the question blank. I think
Correct.
they just answer just put any answer, because even if you put the wrong answer, you won't be penalized. Mana tahu your nasib, your luck is so good, like
That's
one
correct.
of our, I think one of our audience here, YouTube audience, say tembak sejak lah, because you really don't know already. So that is
Yes,
the last thing.
Yeah, that's correct. You need to answer 1 until 30. Make sure everything is answered, especially for the part 4. Okay, don't leave anything blank.
Okay, there's one more answer. Can we use mechanical 2B pencil?
No, please use the the wooden to be pencil. Don't use the mechanical, because I'm afraid that your lead is not that good, and then tiba-tiba you don't have the lead anymore. Then what to do, right? So please just buy the wooden pencil lah, the traditional one.
Okay. And then there's a very good tip from, I think Nasha, say that I will clean my ears.
Correct.
But make sure you don't hurt your ears.
Yeah. That's why talking about the volume, right? If memang you cannot listen, kan, memang your school speakers, there's a problem with your speaker, please raise your hand. Jangan pasrah je. After you come out from the exam hall, then only you say, I cannot listen actually. Then that's on you lah. Cikgu memang tak dengar cikgu. That one, change the speaker. Okay. Okay, I think that's all for hybrid. Now, that last one from me. Focus, because every second counts. For listening paper, you have around 40 minutes. You need to focus. Please don't look at your friend in front. Don't look at your friend besides you. It is your time for yourself only, okay? Because once you are distracted, I'm afraid that you cannot listen to the audio, and then suddenly you do not know what to answer, okay? So don't get distracted. Only focus on your paper and the audio itself, okay? Make sure that your effort is counted. Last one, as a preparation, I know that you are panicking about your speaking test, which will happen in 16th of December. But right after your speaking, right, you will have your holiday. Please practice practice your listening paper, yeah, because mana tahu keluar pula time exam. Okay, so make sure that you practice, and then you use the trial paper also can. Maybe you can use the question from the book itself. And then best of luck, everyone. I think that's all. If there's no more questions, are there any other questions?
Yeah, I think there's one from L. What about if I use a darker pencil like 3B or higher than that?
3B and higher than that. As long as it's 2B and above. Okay, not
okay.
HB lah, of course not HB.
Okay. So any other questions? Because now we are almost reaching our end. So if you still have questions, you can ask. So while waiting for our audience in the YouTube live to post any question left, what about our 4 students with us here today? Vanessa, clear?
I think I have no questions because all of the tips are super clear. And thank you, Cikgu Hidayah, for teaching us. I feel like I can do even better on my listening test next time.
Okay, thank you for that, Vanessa. Nicholas?
Yep, all is clear, and thank you, teacher.
Okay, Madani? I really like her name.
Yeah.
Same as me, teacher. I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay. We have Iva here. Iva, can you speak? I know that. So sorry that we have to mute you all. Most of the time today because of your background sound was a bit noisy. Let's try now. Is it okay?
Can I try? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, very
Yes.
clear now.
Yeah.
Has the rain stopped?
A little bit, but I think it will rain soon. I
Okay.
want to say to Hidayah, thank you very much. I really love the part for tips because I really bad at part 4. I couldn't focus that time. And by guessing whether it's a noun or adjective really helps a lot for me to find out the answer while listening. And I really appreciate for all the tips that was given. And thank you. I think that's all from me.
Thank you, Iva. Good luck.
Okay. And from our YouTube live, L Possum, I don't think I have any more question. So I guess with that, we conclude the session for today. Hidayah, do you have anything like you want to say?
Yeah. Okay, a little bit from me. Okay, so English is something that you need to have vocabulary. Okay, so for Form 4 students, you still have time, 1 more year. Make sure that you really study your topics in your textbook because, of course, some of it may come out, maybe not in listening, but maybe for your speaking test. Okay, but for Form 5 students, you still have time. Practice using the trial paper so that you will be familiarized on how to answer each of the parts. Okay, so don't panic. You still have time now. Use all the tips that I've shared. Do not simply enter without knowing nothing. Okay, you enter with some knowledge or some strategy on how to tackle the questions. Okay, I think thank you also to Is and also all the Bayu Sumoribau team for inviting me. I hope that I help you guys, maybe not 100%, at least 50%.
Okay, thank you, Hidayah. I like the part in which that you mentioned your tips on for the this year Form 5 students trying with the trials questions, because especially that they need to get used themselves to listenings with speakers with different accent and different pace, because like sometimes they will complain that it's a bit faster than the normal speaking pace.
Right.
Okay, with that, as we are nearing our end, I would like to remind everyone about the attendance link. The attendance link has been shared in the chat. Please remember to fill out the attendance form, which will only remain open until 12 midnight tonight. Any complication due to a lack of attentiveness will be the sole responsibility of the participant. Be sure to complete it before tonight 12 a.m. Okay. So before closing the program, oh no, sorry. See, we are having our programs continue with the presentation of the e-certificate to our special guest speaker today, Cikgu Hidayah. Okay, congratulations and heartfelt thanks to our speaker, Cikgu Hidayah, again for your insightful sharing sessions. May her insight greatly assist our SPM candidates in achieving outstanding results in the 2024 SPM English listening paper. But before we end, I would like to do a little bit of advertisement. On the 23rd of December morning, we'll be having the sharing sessions with Cikgu Lily on reading paper. On the 23rd December afternoon, we'll be having a sharing session with Cikgu Zanurin on writing paper. So we hope that you will still stay with us. I know it's near to like Christmas and everyone's actually in their holiday moods, but we know as well that some of the SPM candidates might be quite panicked now, so we try to help as much as we can, and we hope to see you on 23rd of December. So now, as you can see in the screen, we are having all the organizing committee members to join us in the virtual space for a final moment together. Thank you to everyone involved in making the Bayu Sumoribau SPM 2.0 Siri 5, which is on the listening paper, a success. We have the next sessions on the 23rd of December. Make sure you don't miss out and stay connected with us by referring to this Bayu Sumoribau SPM 2024 schedule via the link shared in the chat and YouTube description. Before we sign off, we sincerely apologize for any shortcomings, be it in words, actions, or technical glitches during this program. May we meet again in the next series of this program. Take care, stay healthy, and don't panic. See you soon.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Sederap kita melangkah, biarkan terus marah ke hadapan. Kita pastikan sampai ke